Here's the exact training methods I use to get amazing body transformations with my clients as London's best personal trainer in 2017, and you're going to get them for free. Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm founder of Autonomy, worked with over 1,000 South Asians getting in amazing shape and staying in shape forever, and I'm going to teach you these exact training methods today. Let's cover some of the basics first. Most people want to look at exactly how many training sessions you need to do per week to get the best results possible, and that is going to be very, very dependent on how much you consistently go to the gym. And if you aim for too many and you don't actually get there, your program will get messed up because you're not actually doing what you're supposed to do. Training sessions per week, so 5 to 7 is a lot more than probably what you need, and I thank God for that. Now 1 to 2 is not enough to get the most out of your body transformation and get the most growth possible, but equally between 3 and 4 there isn't that much difference. And when I was London's best personal trainer, most clients came to see me 3 times a week, and I made my bread and butter based on those body transformations of 3 days a week. So I'm going to go 3 days a week. The next point is looking at the training focus. Out of those 3 days, how are we making the most out of that 3 days? How are we getting the best transformation for male and females over a 3-day period? So the easiest way to do this is what they call a full body training method. So basically you will train most of your muscle groups, the major muscle groups, the push, the pull, the upper, the lower, the quads, the back, everything, all 2 to 3 times a week over that course of that 3 days. You get enough stimulus per day to get a big dose response. And the way that you do that is you use something called a GBC method. So GBC stands for German Body Compositional Training. And that is the people that made that nice little lovely saying. But what effectively that means is that you would pair exercises together to make the most out of the time efficiency in the gym, which should also make the intensity go higher. So when you're doing full body with the GBC method, I like to do full body, upper body exercise, then superset it with a lower body exercise. So you're doing leg press into shoulder press, or you're doing deadlifts into, I wouldn't recommend it, but pull-ups. And then you're pairing an upper body exercise and a lower body exercise together to A, time efficiency, 2 is the intensity of the workouts, gets your cardiovascular system racing, and at the same time is you're packing as much volume into those sessions as possible, which is the most important part. Volume equates to load, and load equates to tissue. So we want to make sure that you're covering all bases with volume, load, and then getting the tissue, getting the body transformation, building that physique underneath as you drop that fat too. And not to mention with the GBC method, arguably you'll be burning more calories than you would do with your normal 3 sets of 10 exercises, because you won't be resting that much and you'll be metabolically active on both the upper body and the lower body sessions. Here's how you set up your body transformation program. You want to start with a superset, which is A1 and A2, both done together, is upper push and lower pull. So you can pick anything that has a pushing movement, an upper body pushing movement, with anything that has a lower body pulling movement. So deadlift, RDL, back extension, hip thrust, anything of that nature, depending on what you can do. And that's how you pair them together. At the same time as you would do the opposite. Now, the most important thing is looking at what you do with the rest of the program. Most of these supersets, they take around about 15 minutes per superset if you're doing like 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 12. And therefore, what are we doing with that next 30 minutes or 45 minutes of the session? This is when we're specializing for either male or female. So we'll do both of this depending on your levels. It will just determine the exercise that you do. If you're not advanced in the gym, you just do more basic, slower exercises on the upper body push. You still stay the same, but you just do less volume, less load, less complex exercises. Versus when you're more experienced, you can use it a lot more metabolically and neurological tackling exercises like deadlifts and making sure that it's there. So with the C's, for females, you want to put a lot more focus on the shoulders and then the glutes and the legs. Everybody loves that. And then from a guy's perspective, it's going to be arms and more upper body, because that's what guys want. So when I was doing this as the best personal trainer, let's say for example I was doing a female, I'd put glutes exercise there, and I'd put shoulders in here, and then I'd do the exact same where I'd probably do something like hamstrings, or you could do something like arms depending on the person, and then you would put some type of shoulders or arms movement in there. And that way you're getting a lot of activity, a lot of volume through those exercises, but you're obviously specializing it for the person. So if you like glutes, then you want to do glutes and shoulders. If you like more arms, you can do bicep and tricep, It's totally up to you. We've got the big movements done in those exercises. And you find 3 variations of that to have 3 programs dependent on the person. When I was doing it, when I was looking at this person, when I was in the gym with them, we'd look at their technique, we'd look at how they perform exercises, their flexibility, their range of motion, look at their mechanics, their joints, and then we'd pick exercises based on that. So it would be a little bit more specific, a little bit more tailor-made, but you can have a better best guess of that, so it can go within your gym workout or what you've got at the gym itself. You might think, okay, is that the program done, dusted, that's it, what I do for the next 50 weeks? But no, there has to be a level of progression within. Obviously, you want to get stronger every single week, you want technique to be great, but we need to also make progressive changes to this training program to make it continually work, blast through plateaus, and actually make this do something in terms of getting a body transformation. So what you would do in the first week, weeks 1 to 4, you would have 10 to 12 reps. You do 3 sets of each and do 60 seconds rest period, and then you'd be able to track your lifts and get stronger over that 4th week. The turn of the 4th week, I would then change the rep ranges to do 8 to 12 reps. What that does is just encourages you to lift heavier because you're trying to target for a lower rep, which then gives you more progression in turn. It doesn't have anything fancy to do. It's more like just a psychological trick that you can go, oh, I'm aiming for 8 now, so I've got to use the weight up. And therefore, when you've used the weight up, then you can start that cascade of progressively overloading if you're a bit more tentative with your weight selection. And still keep to 3 sets and 60 seconds rest period. The only thing I would change between week 4 and week 8 would be I'd change the B series, upper body push and lower body pull. I would change that to something specific. So if it was a female, I'd get rid of the upper body and I'd put more glutes in there or more legs in there. And then for guys, I'd put, take away the legs and put more upper body. Wherever the preference is in terms of when you want to pack on size or get more of a shape of the body, you would do that. And you're always thinking about what shape do I want to develop in the future? What do I want to look for when I've dropped that body fat that I need to? And that's why we change things to make sure that the shape is underneath the physique from building the muscle and not just left with a skeleton underneath when you lose that fat and you've got no muscle. And then into week 8 to week 12, then I would look at increasing your sets to 4, keeping within 8 to 10 rep range and a 60-second rest. So having another set just increases the volume that you do. So increasing the amount of reps times sets by volume and kilos lifted, which then just encourages muscle growth to happen. And because of that, and then just to add a level of full focus and formality to your progressive overload, focusing on getting your 3 sets of 8 to 10, I'd focus on getting your reverse pyramiding. So reverse pyramiding is when you actually start with the heaviest weight that you're going to do and max out. And then as you do the second set, you shouldn't be able to repeat the first set's weight. So you actually end up doing a little bit less. So it focuses you to go all in on that first set, increase that intensity, increase that progression, and then you can then back off on that second and third set, which then breaks up that monotony of just trying to get 3 sets of 10 at the same weight. And therefore you can actually bust through plateaus if you have any, or you can just make a more of a steady impulse of getting stronger in that week 8 to week 12 marker. So I'm not sure if this was useful, but hopefully you'd like to see the inner workings of what happens when you're making training programs and you're trying to get body transformations through training programs. If you like this video, give me a shout on follow, a like, drop me an Instagram message on nathan.autonomy if you want to give me some feedback based on these videos. And if there's anything you want me to cover that you don't see as London's best personal trainer, you see the inner workings of things you want from an authority like myself. So drop me a message. See you in the next video.